Today, Starbucks executives will meet with the Tempe police chief in Arizona. They're hoping to make amends after a barista asked 6 Tempe police officers, to leave a Starbucks store on July 4th because they made one customer feel unsafe.
Here to discuss the situation, president of the Tempe Officers Association, Rob Ferraro. Rob, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning to you. So Starbucks has since apologized for this behavior. The Tempe Police Association has said they don't blame Starbucks corporate for this incident. But speaking to the larger issue of the fact that these police officers were deemed to make someone feel unsafe in the beginning, what's going on here with law enforcement in this country and how they're viewed?
It was definitely an unfortunate incident that occurred at the Starbucks, and you're correct that Starbucks has apologized and they're on their way to Arizona to meet with our police chief. So that's a good thing, and we appreciate that. And it was a sincere apology. To your broader question, we hope that this encourages a national dialogue. In our country, we're very fortunate that there's a growing trend towards inclusiveness and reducing intolerance. And so whether you're defined by your race, religion, sex, creed, the focus should be on the individual. And that same level of respect should be afforded to police officers and military. And so our role in this was, again, unfortunate that this occurred at Starbucks, but when behavior like this that occurs, it's our responsibility to bring it to the attention, and it rose very quickly to the national level.
Boy, it sure did. And I want to give credit to Starbucks because they didn't put any caveats in their apology. They were straight up about it. Here's what they said. On behalf of Starbucks, I want to sincerely apologize to you. When these officers entered the store and a customer raised a concern over their presence, they should have been welcomed and treated with dignity and the utmost respect by our partners, employees. Instead, they were made to feel unwelcome and disrespected, which is completely unacceptable. As I said, no caveats there. They accept responsibility. Is there a sense amongst law enforcement from some that they are being unfairly viewed as unwelcome by some in our community today?
I would say some experience that, and it's just important for officers across the country, and I could speak for myself. It's important to remember why we got into this profession. It's personal for everybody. For me, it was related to 9/11 and my experiences. And so on 9/12, I made that decision that I was going to enter law enforcement. So you always have to remember why you got into this profession is because you wanted to help people. And so it's important for officers across the country to remember that and to build connections in the community. Because if we're not connected to the community and the community doesn't feel as though they have a voice, you get results like this, and it's not acceptable. Clearly, the behavior is not acceptable.
Rob,
and so there are.
Yeah, Rob, I just want to ask you, how do you build those connections? Because you want everyone, their instinct to be when they see a police officer to feel more safe, to feel like that person is there to protect them. If that's not happening for some, how do you build connections that make that relationship better?
Absolutely. So, if you go to our Twitter feed, the Tempe Officers Association, and you scroll down a few tweets, you'll see something that exactly exudes that, and it's our Day of Service project. So every time a new officer graduates the academy, we bring them out into the community. And so a week ago, myself and the new officers were at a home of an 85-year-old woman that's in hospice, just diagnosed with cancer, and she was receiving code enforcement violations because she couldn't, take care of her yard. And so we spent the day with her cleaning up her yard, and that's how you build real connections. There are leaders out there that might not have the best intentions, but when you bring real community leaders together at the table and you have a dedicated command staff like we do at Tempe, and a dedicated union that wants to be a part of that solution, you can really move the needle on those community connections.
Boy, you're right. I mean, there's so many things law enforcement officers do in the community that most folks never see. Thankfully, Twitter and social media help bring some of that to light. And certainly connecting with community can include sitting at Starbucks with your fellow citizens. So I agree. Hopefully this is a big lesson learned here, Rob. Last word.
No, absolutely, and that's why Starbucks has been a partner with us. They host our discussions with law enforcement, so we want those things to continue. We're not asking for a boycott of Starbucks, and we don't want the employee fired. So we want to make sure that's known. You know, I'm a customer at Starbucks, and so and I'll remain one. But hopefully this is a learning opportunity, and we can move forward and connect to our community, and hopefully people will feel safe around law enforcement, because that's why we got into this job.
Well said. Rob Ferraro, thank you for your time and for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.